Rehab machine venture for mechanics. The new year, 2023, is here. So, my mechanical friend, this year, why don't you finally do something to change your life to the better? Get inspired and finally take your skilled mechanical ability and turn it into a high-profit machinery business. Most likely you, watching this video, are a blue-collar worker, a guy or a gal who gets your hands dirty every day at a job you like, but where the working conditions and the pay suck. This business opportunity video is aimed at mechanics. There are many different kinds of mechanics: industrial, aircraft, HVAC, marine, automotive, heavy equipment, electric motor, plumbing, electrician, etc. So, before we begin, I would like to remind my viewers how lucky we are to be living in the USA, the greatest nation ever. A country where the little guy has all of the same rights as wealthy people. A country where a blue-collar mechanic, now just getting by, could start a small business, work hard, and take himself and his family to financial freedom and a comfortable life. Many blue-collar workers, especially mechanics, are perfect candidates to start their own businesses. Most are good citizens, good fathers, good husbands, good wives, have great skills, and a lot of training. They are probably well-read and have strong communication skills, and maybe good writing skills, and for sure they have great problem-solving skills. They are fast learners, they are very dexterous, they are usually fit and very safety conscious, great employees. So, I celebrate the American blue-collar worker, and especially mechanics. Many of them are already running their own businesses. Things like body shops and plumbers and electricians, that kind of thing. And I think more mechanics would do the same if it was made a little easier. So I, the blue-collar boss, an entrepreneur who has dirty hands and uses lots of four-letter words and appreciates good-looking women, am offering mechanics a doable business startup opportunity. Society praises entrepreneurs and puts them into a high status. You can be an entrepreneur too. Watch and learn. I was once a blue-collar wage slave, but no more. I'm Rod Murphy. In an online course, I teach all kinds of mechanics, especially industrial mechanics, how to upgrade their lives and their finances with my Start Your Own Machine Rehab business. I'll be focusing mostly on industrial employees in this video, but many other kinds of mechanics would fit also. Mechanics are in demand today, especially in business. They are detail-oriented, they have problem-solving abilities, they have organizational abilities, they have physical stamina, and they are versatile and able to work under pressure. Mechanics focus on troubleshooting, fixing stuff, and preventive maintenance. Industrial mechanics focus on one singular factory area: machines and mechanical equipment. Their main goal is to achieve maximum possible uptime on equipment. Troubleshooting and preventive maintenance, such as inspecting drives and motors, belts, checking fluid levels, replacing filters, it's all a necessary part of the job. Who am I? And why would you listen to me. For over 30 years, I've done trainings for maintenance mechanics, engineers, and other support people regarding installing and operating industrial machinery. I have worked in shops and factories all over the USA and some other countries, and met with hundreds of mechanics. I think I know at least some of your many problems and how to alleviate them. If you are a mechanic, I think I know why you are here watching these videos. So I will tell you what you probably already know. You have a very important job. You fix equipment and machines. You make profits possible. I don't know whether you would think about that, but it's true. You are often on call 24 hours a day. You don't get the raises and cost of living increases and merit pay, things like that. You're not valued by your boss, in effect. Your health insurance sucks. High monthly costs and high co-pays. Your weekends are no different than your weekdays. I think you agree with a lot of this stuff, but we'll see. You and your spouse are overworked. Your children suffer because both parents dedicate too much time at work to pay the bills. You need overtime just to afford shelter and the necessaries for your family. It shouldn't be. And the following physical ailments are common for mechanics. Physical and mental stress, overexertion, repetitive motion industries, doing the same thing with your wrist or your arm or whatever, harmful substance exposure, all that nasty stuff, like hearing loss due to high decibels also. The following are other working condition problems for mechanics. I'm giving you all the bad stuff here that you already have. Because of wear and tear and physical demands, 96% of mechanics stop working earlier than retirement age. They can't work anymore. They're all beat up. Continuing bosses over expectations that complex repairs can be done faster. Hurry it up. Work schedules causing high blood pressure, heart rate fluctuations, and dangerous sleepiness on the job. This stuff sound familiar? So how can you change all that? Misery. If you were in charge of your own life and your own income by running your own machine rehab business, how would all that change? All right, so let's go through them. 1, you would get that satisfaction boost that all of us need and be proud of yourself. That's a very important thing I found. 2, you would buy the best healthcare insurance. 3, you would schedule your business days with consideration for your family and your health first. 4, you would avoid those chemical exposures and those repetitive motion injuries. 5, your spouse could stay home with the kids if desired. 6, and no more bosses over expectations. You are the fucking boss. 7, You spend more time with your family picnics. You could spend more time with your family. Picnics and beaches and fishing and sports, stuff like that. 8. Weekends would become weekends again. Your financial security would be in your hands, not in some clerk somewhere figuring out how much you're going to make for a pension or something. Number 10, there would be less wear and tear on your body and your mind. Number 11, you would begin to pay off the debt, a bigger and better home perhaps, better schools for your kids, maybe a vacation home, and yes, more time with your wife and your children. All of that could be yours. So now, I will show you an example of the income possible if you follow in my footsteps, but no guarantee is promised. These numbers are an average of many of my machine rehab companies' annual sales and expenses and profit. So, gross income with 20 machines, average sales at $11,500 is $230,000 for a year. That's it. That's kind of like roughly what I've been doing and more. And expenses would be $28,000 for purchase of used machines, 20 machines, average $1,400 per unit. And replacement parts would cost you about $13,000. And freight, 20 machines in and out, $12,500. And payroll, I got one part-time mechanic, $15,600 a year. $24,500 was building rent. $7,000 is miscellaneous, things like heat and water and sewer, insurance, upkeep. So $100,600 is the total expenses. So you subtract that from the $230,000, you get $129,400 net profit. That's yours. So if you're the mechanic, if you do the rehab, you get another $15,600 on top of the $129,400. Okay, so how did I, the blue-collar boss, build my rehab business? Since I was 7 years old, I wanted my own business so I could live better with some control of my own life. I grew up poor in Boston and didn't have much going for me. I was determined to find a way to drag myself up to a better life. After an Army enlistment, I began to take jobs, mostly shitty ones, but I was learning. Selling to the industrial market began to intrigue me. There was so much opportunity in the industrial market. Factories were everywhere and bought so many different things. Purchasing agents and engineers had fixed budgets, and they bought products every day. And most important, they weren't spending their own money, so selling might be a little easier. So I applied, and I was hired by an industrial coatings company as a trainee, selling paint to coat products at factories in New England. I did well at my job, becoming the top salesman in just 2 years. As I worked, I soaked up technical information and technical coating processes and what kind of machines we use. I then realized that I had become more valuable because I knew about manufacturing processes that would improve my income as a result. I knew stuff. In other words, I had experience. I then became a manufacturer's agent, commission guy, representing several production machinery manufacturers. One was a vapor degreaser manufacturer. After I sold a new vapor degreaser to a Connecticut factory, the buyer asked if I would buy his used degreaser. In order to just help the guy, I agreed. I paid $300, best thing I ever did. Almost immediately, I sold that unit to another customer for $1,500. Instead of the ordinary 10% commission paid for sales, I made 80%. I saw the light. It was my epiphany moment. I kept my commission sales situation for about a year, but searched out other used vapor degreasers to resell at the same time. My income from the used machines became twice my commissions income. So I rented warehouse space, hired machine mechanics on call, and quit my commission gig. That was over 35 years ago. Today I own my business, Degreasing Devices Company, selling rebuilt, refurbished, used machinery out of my own warehouse, 1/2 mile from my Southbridge, Massachusetts home. We compete with the manufacturers of new vapor degreasers today. Buying this course opens a door, but it doesn't commit you to any costly undertaking other than the purchase price. With the course's help, you would decide which specialized machine to rehab and if that market makes financial sense after your research. Then you should decide to start your business, and it'll be one of the best things you've ever done. I think my course will allow the right blue-collar people to gain their full potential as business owners. So now I will attempt to answer any objections or concerns so that you will feel that what I offer is right for you and that your startup is attainable. Here are some questions from interested folks that I have had from these interested folks. 1, my wife is worried that if I left my job, I wouldn't have the quote-unquote life preserver, another job in other words, if the business failed. Women in general are more home-oriented and often pay the bills. It's up to you to have researched your startup so you can sell it to anyone. She is your first customer. If you're good at your job, you should be able to find another job if need be, but I don't think you're going to have to do it. Okay, number 2. How do I know that my specific machine idea will be successful? Yeah. You need to do a lot of research on your particular machine to be rehab, your market, your competition, the selling price versus the buying price. In other words, profit, and other things too. Self-doubt, lack of a focus, and procrastination holds more people back than any other thing. All right, number 3. Could this be another ripoff? I guess people think that there's a lot of scammers around. I'm only selling an online course, which if you proceed, will give you the help to do your startup. There's no other course other than the purchase price. There's no other cost. You know that there is no free lunch and no easy money, and you know that repairing and fixing equipment is your thing. You will learn the rest from my course. Hard work and creativity produces money. This machinery business involves equipment, machinery, tools, real hard goods, not gauzy e-commerce. Is this the right time to start a new business? That's number 4. Prognostications about the future economy are both positive and negative depending on who's talking. There's nothing wrong with lots of research and preparation, but at some point it's got to stop. At some point you've got to dive in with both feet and commit. Some of you are wondering, dreaming, planning, listening to podcasts or webinars, but never taking that big real step. It's time. Go for it. It's hard, I know, but you got to do it. You got to jump in. Number 5, I don't have enough money to start this business. All right. In my course, I cover starting on a shoestring, part-time, with small money, while holding down a job. It's probably the best way to try it out. I did it. It can be done carefully and slowly. Number 6, I don't know much about the business end of business. Yeah, most people don't. In my course, I cover bookkeeping, sourcing parts, taxes, hiring, buying, etc. All the necessary office work. So you could get through those boring but necessary evils, and they are necessary. 6, my job keeps me so damn busy I don't think I would have time to spare to start a business. You might have to put some fun stuff or hobbies on hold until you get it going. Think positively. The work you put in now to start your business will result in more free time when you succeed. Sacrifices will be necessary, but the rewards will be big. To learn more, click on the button below and opt in to the next step.